All right, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. It is race 7 of the Monticello Motor Club Esports Sim Challenge, coming to you from Brazelton, Georgia, also known as Flowery Branch, Road Atlanta, my favorite racetrack in the country. We're under our formation lap right now. We've got a full track, full lap of formation behind the pace car. All the racers, the members are out there ready to go. They're coming up the backstretch, just rounded turn 7, and it is going to be an amazing night. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, they're actually heading into turn 6, across the short chute on the back. I tell you what, this track is fantastic. I am so excited to see these guys get after it tonight.
For,
Dimitro, Have you ever been to Road Atlanta before?
You know what? I've been to a lot of tracks, but unfortunately for me, I have not yet, and keyword yet, been to Road
I hear
Atlanta.
you.
I mean, I got to be honest, I love driving this track in the sim, and even more so, I could
Yeah.
imagine how beautiful it is in real life. Yeah, this
Uh,
is such a great track. This is such an entertaining track in that there's so many different aspects to it, so many different facets to it, and I'm excited to see how each driver sort of uses their strengths to play into some of the track's qualities and see them, hopefully get some good overtakes, some good passing, some good racing.
I am also super excited as I'm probably going to say 25 times tonight. It is my home track. I have a lot of laps at this track. I've done a lot of instructing, a lot of racing. It is my favorite racetrack. It is big boy elevation, big boy walls. And also big girl walls out there too. If
Hmm.
Melissa, if you're tuning in, I don't want you to feel left out. This is my favorite racetrack in the whole country, and I'm so excited. We're running GT4s. These cars are going to be excellent on this course. A lot of speed on the backstretch, but also really good handling for turns 2 through 5. I am excited. I just this is just my heart. It's like my all my passions are coming together at one time, right? This is Monticello at Road Atlanta. It's gonna be great.
The true dream coming
So
true. Yeah.
we're coming down into 10A right now. We should be taking the green. The lights are out on the pace car. And 10B up under the bridge. I have a million fun stories about that bridge that I will when if the racing gets a little. Here we go down into turn 12. We're about to take the green. Field is tightening up.
Ooh, early jump for Eric Paterno.
I tell you, the flying Finn out there, Swifty Swiss, is heading into turn 1, leading the field.
Real good getaway for Eric
Yeah,
Paterno there.
no doubt, no doubt. Everybody heading up now, about ready to head down into the S's. Paterno looking good, jumping that curb there as he should. Curbs are part of the track here. Ben Albano looking pretty good as well. Down through the S's now up to turn 5. Lynn Wilson also right there knocking
In
on the
the
door.
pack. Oh no, commentator's curse
Oh
again.
no!
Oh,
Commentator's curse. Lynn Wilson backs it through the tire wall in turn number 5.
oh, that's a
Oh
big
no!
contact.
Oh no,
Oh
that is
God.
a very common crash. You're coming up the hill there and you don't have a lot of steering. Lynn gets Lynn gets knocked out hard. I do not know the car that hit him though.
Not sure either.
Was that Manny?
I'm not fully sure. I saw him get light into that left-hander, which, for anyone who's driven this
I
car,
believe it was Ron Trinka.
oh, okay. For anyone who's driven this
I
car in the
believe it's
sim
Ron Trinka.
or in real life, that is a very easy corner to get loose and get a little light. And the car just got away from him ever so slightly. And if you're behind, there's just really not much you can do because the car gets so light there, and it just, that accident's just.
Exactly. You don't have a lot of steerability, and you don't have a ton of vision there either. When you're coming up turn 5, you can't really see up the hill so well because the way your car's pointed. Meanwhile, back out front, Eric Paterno still setting sail at the front. He's through turn 1 and uphill into turn number 2. Still looking really good with Sean McAuliffe right behind him, and then Nick Ponzini right behind him as well.
Yeah, for sure. Nick Ponzini, a driver who we know is super strong in the GT4 car. So we know that he can make some passes and make those moves. You can see really right up behind Sean McAuliffe, ready to make the move as we saw going into turn 1, looking to the inside.
Excellent run out of turn 5.
Exactly. Just really in the mirrors of Sean McAuliffe, forcing him to go to the inside here, hopefully trying to mess up onto the back straight. Ooh, looking towards the inside.
Going for a little over under. Sean McAuliffe with good positioning in turn 6, but Ponzini trying to put it on him in turn 7. It's a drag race down the back strip for these guys.
For sure, for sure. And this is a real long back straight. So, it looks like Sean McCall is trying to break him out of the toe, but I think Nick Ponzini is going to play it nice and slow here, just stay nestled within the back of Sean McAuliffe and maybe wait for the next lap.
Oh yeah, there's so much time left. So much time left in this race. A big downhill braking zone there into 10A, up over the bridge and down. That is a 45-foot drop there from the top
Whew.
of the bridge to turn 12 and on to the front straight. between the hot pit and the cold pit and right back up into turn number one.
Yeah, Nick Ponzini, we could see he's real aggressive right now, wanting to make those moves and make them early. Oh man, just phenomenal drive by Nick. He's so
Just
close to the back of that Porsche. I mean, how didn't we see
straightening
the
out the
track?
curves, man.
I,
Yeah,
I,
he's leaning on that suspension and that big. That's an F82
that's correct.
M4
Yeah.
GT4, not the brand new one, but a fantastic platform.
Hmm.
And he is tracking down that Stuttgart machine of Sean McAuliffe.
For sure. And one interesting thing about this track and especially this track and car combo is that the amount of fuel that's in the car really changes the car dynamics. So I know that the Porsche here is really strong on full fuel. As you can see, Eric Paterno just flying into the distance. But I know that the front deg on this car is pretty wild. So wait, is that Eric Paterno just gone off the road?
I think that might.
Oh my God, Eric
Oh, what
Paterno.
is happening? What happened to Eric Paterno? What has happened to our race leader? He's going left, he's going right, he's all over the track, and now Sean McAuliffe in first, Ponzini in second. We'll have to get our intrepid reporters to find out what happened to that Swifty Swiss out front in the blue and white Porsche of Eric Paterno. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah,
he's going backwards through the field quick.
let's run that back real quick. Take a look at what happened to Eric Paterno. Maybe on the brakes there, maybe a wheel disconnect possibility there. Wow, look at that, threading the needle, coming back across. Yeah, it doesn't
The
look
place on the
like.
track, he was pretty much on the straightaway, right? There was
Yeah, there
no
was.
reason for that steering input like that. So I have to think that was some kind of mechanical failure on Paterno's car.
I think so. And Eric Paterno now sitting in pit lane, probably getting the repairs done to his car now, but unsure. Possibly a wheel disconnect from him. That doesn't seem like that was self-inflicted.
No, it's not the kind of thing that would happen normally to Paterno. He's much too experienced in sim racing to have something like that go wrong without a mechanical problem.
Absolutely.
Either way, now Sean McAuliffe on the top step right now, looking good early on. 5 minutes into the race, Ponzini in second, and coming up in third, also leading the instructor corps, is Josh Green and the mighty Merc there, the Zimperini Mercedes, followed by Dylan Murcott, who is sitting in second place in the point standings for the season all instructors. These guys, the instructors, are duking it out. The livery on the side of that Josh Green Mercedes looking really good, mirroring what he's doing there in real life. That kid has really put in the work this season, both in real life and in the sim in this Mercedes, and you can see it paying off as he goes into
For
down
sure.
the front stretch and goes into turn one.
Yeah, for sure. And then Jack Klepchik, deciding to match Josh with the paint
Yeah,
job.
I mean, Klepchik's like his teammate, Team Zimperini there, coming around in another Mercedes. I'm going to have words with Jack later for switching into that three-pointed star away from the roundel. That kind of breaks my heart. But, Jack, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what the decisions you are making in your life, but you really need to reevaluate. Um, I would run a roundel if it was me. I don't know. Uh, but hey, it's okay. I'm sure the guys in Munich will be really excited to hear that Jack is running a three-pointed star. Anyway, moving on. I'm not bitter or anything about that.
Never, never.
Um, no, not at all. Not at all. Just kidding. Jack's a great kid. Um, he'd probably be running a little bit higher if he had a roundel on the car. I don't know. I mean, I'm saying if he was in a BMW, he'd probably be running third or fourth right now. But hey, it's okay. Yeah, he's gonna jack. Jack's gonna jack. So
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I think that if Jack found himself a nice little BMW, I think that would probably be up at the front right now, probably battling for
I mean, exactly.
P1.
That's all I'm saying.
Jack,
That's all I'm saying.
no, no,
But
no biggie, no biggie, no pressure. Just putting it out there for future reference. Look at Josh Green with the fastest lap right there, 125.37, real quick, really getting close to Nick Ponzini and Sean McAuliffe up at the front.
yeah, he is. He's really closing the gap. Ponzini is kind of in the sandwich there between Sean McAuliffe and Josh Green, and he's going to have to pick attack or defend here real soon.
For sure. I mean, Ponzini maybe he's just trying to play the long game, probably trying to almost bait a mistake out of Sean McAuliffe. Try to make the pass super easy because we still have one more race after this. Yeah, the heat number 2. So you don't really want to throw away all these precious points that you could get right now because there's not many more chances to get points in the season. This is it, pretty much.
Yeah. Josh Green is closing the gap back there. I mean, we're not even to the halfway point in this race right now, only 8 minutes in. There's a lot of racing left. And three different makes of car running one, two, three right now. That's why the crowds come out. I mean, the crowd is on its feet right now for this kind of racing, right? The Monticello eSim League really brings out the fans, and it's because of the diversity in this fleet, right? We've got Stuttgart product, we've got Bavarian product, and we've also, I don't even know where they make Mercedes, but I don't know, whatever. But these three cars are doing really great up at front.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And Josh keeps closing that gap,
Ooh.
5 tenths on Nick Ponzini's time last lap. So the time keeps decreasing, and I think it's only a matter of time before Josh Green is at the back, right nestled behind Nick Ponzini, ready to make the move. So hopefully Nick can make his move before Josh becomes, the biggest part of his mirrors.
Yeah, I mean, but all these guys are doing a really great job here of their line. Really great racing here, expanding that over the curbs there in turn 5, just like you do in real life. You wouldn't want to hit that if it was wet, I'll tell you that. But right now, with these perfect conditions out of Brasden, Georgia, those curbs are in play all around this red clay layout here in Flowery Branch.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We're almost to the halfway point.
Yeah, and look, I was earlier during practice was taking a look at some of the drivers as they lapped around the course, and I gotta say, Sean McAuliffe definitely knows the secrets. I don't know if Sean McAuliffe is a frequent driver here at Road Atlanta, but boy oh boy does he know every little secret that I've ever learned about this track, and he's able to execute it lap after lap after lap. And it seems as though since Nick Ponzini is able to keep up, he probably knows those same little tricks and tips. So should be definitely, as you can see, the laps coming out of Sean McAuliffe and Nick Ponzini are quick, quick, quick. Josh actually there with the 125.1, which is mega fast, but still, nevertheless, Sean McAuliffe and Nick Ponzini really putting in great laps. I mean, Sean McAuliffe putting these great laps under pressure as well.
No doubt. I mean, Sean McCall definitely has working mirrors, and he can see the M4, and he can also see the dark green Zimperini machine back there as well. And it is going to have, there's going to be some action up front here really soon. As we fly the drone over the infield back there, right around turn 6, that is a great place. The skid pads back there, that is Mario Andretti corner, turn 6. Man, that's a great place to park if you ever get back to Road Atlanta. Out there, park on the skid pad. You have 360-degree views of the racetrack.
I mean, you're giving me a list of things to do next time I go. So
Dude,
keep it coming.
also, right there beside the skid pad, fantastic funnel cakes. I
Ooh,
suggest that you get the powdered sugar and a little bit of that Hershey syrup. I mean, listen, if you're going in on the funnel cake, go
go
for the
all out
powdered sugar and the chocolate.
for sure. Let's take a look quick behind. Ben Albano nestled up behind Jack Klepchik. Looks like he's going to make the move into the downhill left-hander. Will he make it stick?
Oh, he's definitely into 10A, nice and clean. Gets around the Zimperian machine there of Jack Klepchik, and the red and blue Merc comes under the bridge and heads down into turn 12.
Look at
Really
these.
quick, really quick.
Oh, for sure. Look at these
With
cars. They're
Alex
all
Snyder back
within
there as well.
3 tenths, side by side. Ooh, able to stay ahead, but that's not really the best place to go inside originally. But I think he's able to brake check him up.
Sure. Klepchik's actually running a better line through there, but Albano's got the pace. He's hanging on up front.
For sure. I would definitely agree with that. And also, like, when you're able to just control the front, he definitely has a lot of control in the car. He's able to control the pack. So, Ben Albano doing a phenomenal job defending as well, even when he's taking the wrong lines.
Yeah, exactly. He is racing a defensive line right now for sure. Let's check in. I mean, how's things going back there in the number 9 spot? You got Brian Hedian back there. I wonder what is Hedian driving. Oh, he's in the McLaren with the standard Hedian race team livery. That looks really good. A lot of power for that McLaren. Expecting Hedian to be able to close the gap as well on Alex Snyder right in front of him. but he's going to have a hard time catching up to Albano and Klepchik, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that's notorious in this game is that the McLaren is fast, fast, fast. In a straight line, that car is a rocket. But the only issue with that car and the main downside is that it has a really, really skinny front tire. So when you're rocking with, I think it's like a 235, it's something absurdly small. And they really try to
It's like a
show that.
bicycle tire
It,
in the
it is
front.
a bicycle tire up
Sure.
front. It thing just pushes everywhere. So we're going to see Brian really trying to make up that time in this race and just hold on for dear life in the corners.
No doubt about it. That's a great way to put it, you know. But he's running a great line, eating a lot of curb there through turn three,
Hmm.
heading down into the S's. Brian Headian, as always, right on point with a really clean line.
Yeah, I can
Some
imagine.
great racing back there in the back of the field.
I can imagine for Brian, he's probably trying to use a lot of strategic off tracks right now, just trying to maximize the amount of grip that he can get out of the car, even if it's not always allowed. But hey, you know what? Racing's racing. If you're not cutting corners, you're not winning
Exceeding track
races.
limits, it's part of it, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. It's only illegal if you get caught.
exactly.
Um,
Look at these guys up front, though, all within a second of one another. This race is getting tight, tight, tight. It looks like they passed one of the back markers as well, but this race is definitely nowhere close to finished for Sean McAuliffe.
No, it's not. You've got Ponzini right there. You've got Josh Green, and don't look too close, don't too far back, but also Mr. Elbows back there. Dylan Murcott lurking in fourth, with Frank McClanahan in fifth place. The members have really turned out. I mean, the members have been great all season long. It's great to see the members mixing it up with these instructors. And personally, I kind of dig it when there's a member leading the race, right?
Oh, for
So
sure.
I like that Josh Green has got his hands full with these two guys out of Ponzini and
Oh,
McCall.
Sean
Oh
McAuliffe.
no! In turn five again, McAuliffe gets turned.
That is a
Oh
scary
no.
place. That I mean, look, Sean McCall has been under pressure for almost 15 minutes now. So, I mean, I can't say it was almost a matter of time, but it's hard, especially it's lap after lap after lap. It's difficult. It's difficult to keep that composure, especially at a track which is so mentally demanding.
Can we get a Ponzini's out front under attack by Josh Green? That's probably not going to last. It's not going to turn out so great for Ponzini in about two more laps. Can we back up and get a replay of that action in turn
Well,
five?
we'll see if Josh is able to make it around the outside here. Will
Nope,
Josh?
not yet. He's
He's still the
trying.
nose is still there.
Oh, he's
Oh,
gonna. Oh man,
Josh
he
a
puts
little
his nose
aggressive there.
inside of Ponzini.
Whoa,
Wow,
that was
these
almost a big incident coming back on track.
it was. A note to all
Unlucky.
you junior racers out there: if you go off track, the most important thing you can do is stay predictable.
Yeah,
It's better to stay still and wait till traffic has passed.
yeah. The last thing you want to do is just drive right back on track out of pure like, oh no, I need to get back on track, and then end up in a big fiery accident. That's a let's not have that happen. But yeah, we could take a look
So,
back at what happened with Sean McAuliffe. Let's take a look at the preview here. Yeah, just a little light going into the uphill
yeah,
left-hander
he
and then
gets loose.
tapped around as well.
Yeah, that is. He got a little loose, could not put the power down, and kind of had to crack the throttle there to keep that tail happy Porsche from coming around. And Ponzini really couldn't get out of it. He was full commit there and just drove it right up through his chimney. That's just a tough break for McCall. If it got light in the rear and he just couldn't get back around.
Yeah, it's just one of those
Um,
things, especially with the Porsche being mid-engine, when that momentum starts to carry into the slide, it's just so hard to catch. I mean, maybe in the BMW, which no, we're not picking favorites here. I'm not picking favorites. I don't know if you're picking favorites. I, I think the
I'm
BMW's way to
totally
go,
not
but you know, it is what it is. Uh, regardless, the BMW may have been able to catch that, but with the Porsche, that momentum just keeps going and it doesn't stop.
right. And so then you take a look at the instant with Ponzini. Ponzini also violated one of racing's most sacred rules, which is don't forget that the nose of the Mercedes is 19 feet long and it is
Mm,
probably closer to you than you think, right? So Ponzini, Green gets that long Mercedes nose inside there at 10B, and Ponzini is not able to stay out of trouble there as Josh turns him around. But not really. not really Josh's fault. Ponzini tried to come across his nose, and Green was not having it. But still some great racing. We've got Josh Green up front, and Sean McAuliffe has now worked his way right back up to second, according to the leaderboard right now, following that Zimperini car of Josh Green.
Yeah, for sure. And I would completely agree with you. The front of the AMG GTR is massive. I don't know if you've ever sat in one, but it feels like it goes on forever. You feel like you're never going
Oh,
to find the front of
just
it.
like you're like on the you're sitting on the tail fin of a cruise missile. The whole car is out in front of you, right? It is a lot of car in front and not a lot behind you. And Ponzini will. I bet you he'll remember that for next season.
Absolutely. It looks like we have ourselves a little battle back here. Is this going to be a battle
That's
between...
Club Chicken Albano. They're still dicing it up back there.
Wow. That Klepchik, although Ben Albano was able to make it by, and, oh, they're going to go side by side going through the downhill bridge. This is not the place we want to be
It's
side by
going to be a
side.
drag race down the hill.
And he's on the wrong, he's on the
Albano's
outside.
got position. Look
Oh,
at
God.
this. Look at this. That is a scary place for Jack Klepchik to be right there.
And
I'm
they're
telling
still
you
side
what,
by
but
side.
he makes it stick.
Oh,
Oh my
Ben Albano
gosh.
closing the door. That
Oh
was
my gosh.
really aggressive. Oh
Klepchik
my
with
God.
nerves of steel on the outside of turn 12. Believe me when I say that concrete wall at the bottom of the hill comes up quick there. Look at these guys getting into the S's, heading up to turn 5. There is no quit in that fight right there. Two instructors duking it out.
For sure. And it looks like Jack is not holding back for this session. I know that Jack has had a pretty unfortunate season. He's been involved in a lot of incidents that weren't necessarily his fault, but just got caught up in incidents that happened ahead of him. So I know that right now he just really wants to make up points and be in a really good spot in the Instructor Championship.
Yeah, no doubt. Klepchik and Albano, man, I tell you, this is a battle right here. Neither one of these guys want to give a quarter. This is going to be tough. It's a drag race, big AMG GTR power down the backstretch. I bet those things sound good. Going to big brakes into 10A. On him.
Oh, side by side. This is for the
And
checkered
there's a little
flag.
tapping there as Klepchik gets through and tries to make it stick. Albano not happy with it, but Klepchik makes it stick, and now he's got the preferred position out front. As
Look
the
at
car
that.
spins across his face there
That's
in
it.
turn 1.
That's it.
Oh, no!
That is the end of Heat 1, though. That was a checkered flag.
Oh, that I didn't even notice the clock. I was just, oh my gosh. I am so intent on watching the racing. I didn't even know where we were on the clock.
And
Oh, that was
as we
fantastic.
watch the drivers round out the session, looks like Manny Taglione got caught in a massive incident earlier on in the race. The damage to that Porsche is quite extensive. I can imagine that his mechanics at the garage will not be very happy about it.
No, they're not. There's definitely going to be some punches thrown in the infield tonight. I don't know. These crews, who knows what's going to happen after the checker flag drops on this second race.
I think that we got ourselves a special race coming up for round 2. Eric Paterno with the repaired car, starting the race in P1, most likely having a sim technical issue and falling back to P14. An unfortunate end for Eric Paterno, but we know he has the pace, and we know that he can put in the work to maybe get a win in race 2.
I agree. He's got a really good car, and he's a really talented driver. And I think he's put in the work. He's practiced here, and I believe Paterno is going to try to make another run at it here in race 2.
Absolutely, and I think we are waiting for Ron Trenka to cross the line. Waiting for our timing sheet to fully update, and as soon as it updates, we'll pull up the race results for race number 1 of round 7 here at Road Atlanta. I think Nick Ponzini is still in his car. Is that correct? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Now we can pull up the results for, I think, here we go. Race number 7 at Road Atlanta. Let's take a look at this. Josh Green finishing at P1 with over a second and 1.7 seconds over Sean McAuliffe. It's a pretty
Yeah.
big gap.
Yeah, Josh Green, keeping his extensive nose clean, was able to really open up a little gap and finish comfortably there for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Sean McAuliffe leading the membership core here at the race, being the top finishing member ahead of Nicholas Ponzini. Then Frank McClanahan, second place for the instructors. No surprise here. Dylan Murcott. Klepchik gets around Albano in turn 11 to score some points for himself as well. It was a fantastic race, every bit as good as I thought it would be. Coming to you live from Michelin Raceway. It is almost time for heat number 2. Stay with us, race fans, because I believe this second race is going to be special. It's the last race of the season, the final chapter in the inaugural season of Monticello Motorsports Esports Sim Challenge, coming to you from Michelin Raceway in Brazelton, Georgia at Road Atlanta.
Last one, I don't get out.
All right, race fans, we're back for heat number two as the formation lap. You can see the pace car running down here into the S's, and it's really just so important to note there's so much compression there at the bottom of turn four, and then you head uphill for a big release out to the right over to that curbing. And I'll tell you, the car is so loaded up and so light there that you just don't have a lot of opportunity for steering input. If you meet anything out there at turn five, it is just really, really hard to avoid a collision. And that is what happened to some of our competitors in that early race. But I'm hoping they all learned a little something. We've still got a really great lineup here with McAuliffe out front, Ponzini in second, and I am ready to get this second race underway.
Absolutely, and I think that Nick Ponzini is here for revenge. In all fairness, I know he was leading in for part of race one. He had such a good run. He was driving so well, but just a little racing incident, cost him the race. I think he's, brushed up, got his head back on straight, and I think he's ready to get this win.
I hope so. I want it for him. The kid's put the work in all season. He's going up against the Club GT4 champion, though. Sean McAuliffe, no stranger to this GT4 platform and no stranger to getting it done under pressure. So Ponzini's going to have his hands full as the field comes through 10A, 10B, up the hill, under the bridge, turn 11, down the 45-foot drop, down to turn 12. The pace car's off. And we are about to go green for race number two.
Looks like we're green right here.
Green flag. Here we go, kids. Strap in for race number two.
Ooh, look at that, 3 wide, a little further back there. Sean McAuliffe able to Oh, that looks like an incident in the
There's a
back.
car pushed in.
Jason
Yeah.
Cohen went
That's
off.
what
Frank
3 wide in
McClanahan.
turn one will do for you.
It truly will. But it seems though Sean McAuliffe and Nick Ponzini are calm and composed.
Ponzini drops wheels in the dirt and gets a little squirrely there.
Oh,
Ate a little too much curb, and that really cost him some positions there as he had to lift and gather the car back up.
Nick Ponzini, yeah, looks like he drops back a little bit. Oh, look at that. The curse we were talking about.
Yeah.
Looks like, is that Christopher Johnson?
So
Yeah, Christopher Johnson in the background getting a little light and the car spun around, it looks.
Turn 5 is so treacherous coming up out of that compression zone of turn 4. It is so easy to get it wrong there.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the timing tower, we got ourselves Eric Paterno all the way up into 4th place, able to make up a ton of places so far, 10 places it seems. So Eric Paterno is on the hunt, looking to get at least into the top 3, if not to the top step.
Yep, closing in on the third place car there of Alex Schneider, the Red Bull BMW. Eric Paterno, Swifty Swiss, the Flying Finn coming off the top now, down to turn 12. Really are holding your breath every time you come through there, much like a roller coaster. I tell you, all the elevation here, it really reminds me a lot of the Nürburgring. And if you want to go to the Nürburgring with me and our 4th place car, Manny Tartaglione, I've got one seat left to run the world's greatest piece of pavement as Alex Schneider goes wide there in turn 3 and eats a bunch of cones. That's going to be about an 8-second penalty on the autocross.
That's
2 seconds per cone, 4 cones. Alex takes an 8-second penalty there in the Red Bull BMW.
That's a good point. Usually you don't really want to tap the cones too much because, cones do a lot more damage than you think they will. Also,
yeah.
yeah.
Let me tell you, the front splitter of that BMW is made out of like paper mache, dude. You do not want to hit cones with that thing. I got to tell you.
Oh yeah, and they're like $6,000, so they are pricey too.
Yeah, they are.
Quick little
Yeah,
side
it's made
note.
out of like cotton candy and paper mache.
I think Sean McAuliffe is not in P1 anymore. I think Nick Ponzini is running up alone at the front, and I'm a little confused as to how we got to this point.
I know, we weren't really watching it, and all of a sudden McAuliffe off the pace, but he's still underway.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. We have to get our crack production team to find some footage of what happened to that green Sean McAuliffe car.
Sean McAuliffe just went into
in
pit lane. Wow.
Sean McAuliffe calling it quits in race 2.
What could possibly have caused Sean McAuliffe to go into pit lane? I think the only thing I can think of is maybe a drive-through of some sort. I'm not 100% sure what the rules are looking like. Maybe his jump was too early or too fast. Let's wait for the timing sheet to fully update before we fully conclude that Sean McAuliffe is not the leader of this race. But I think right this
Yeah.
second, Nick Ponzini is running up front, and that means that Eric Paterno is already in P2.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's happening, but definitely Paterno is up there trying to get into the points, trying to get on the top step of the podium, and Ponzini looks to be the only thing in his way. Ponzini out front, then Paterno and Schneider. Happy to see all of these members leading the race as we close in on the halfway point here of race number 2. Ponzini and the Bavarian F82 M4 GT4 with almost like a Turner Motorsport livery going there. I like his design choices
Mm-hmm.
and also his driving choices.
Absolutely, I would agree with you. That car is looking mega. Great color combos. Looking, I was about to say a little bit of a Turner inspiration, like with the colors and a little bit of the design. Really love to see it. And Josh Green in the background getting real aggressive with
Yeah,
Alex Schneider
you
looking
could
towards the
say that.
inside. Alex Schneider's
He's
like,
got that move.
yeah, Alex Schneider probably saw him in the mirrors and was like, I am not wanting to deal with this today. So maybe letting him go by there, not being too aggressive. Josh Green trying to make it 2 race wins by any means necessary as he flies down the S's.
Josh Green absolutely flying right now and trying to close up on the back of that Finlandia car piloted by the Swift Swiss of Eric Paterno. And let's check out the action on the back straight. One of the longest back straights in the country. It's a fantastic piece of pavement as they turn through turn 7. Do not drop wheels out there on the left hand side. That red clay will get you as they
Mm-hmm.
head up the backstretch.
And one other noteworthy mention, Brian Hedian running in P6, looking to possibly overtake Dylan Murcott. I'm excited to see what Dylan Murcott using the headlights a little too much. I'm not really sure if his bulbs are going to make it to the end of the race, but uh, Brian Hedian really putting in a good result right now. Hopefully, we could maybe see Brian Hedian in the top 5 and maybe even in the top 3.
Yeah, I tell you, Dylan Murcott's livery is on point though with the white wheels and the Red Bull paint, but Hedian
Ooh.
clean around Murcott. Murcott defenseless in turn 12. His headlight game is still strong, but Hedian pulling away into turn number 1, and he is away from Murcott.
Yeah, Brian
Not
looking
Murcott's best. This is not Murcott's best work for sure this season.
for sure. I wasn't expecting to see Murcott on the outside of a corner, and I think that a lot of people would agree with me there. Murcott is the last person you would expect to see on the outside of a corner, so it was fascinating to see him on the outside and also him leaving tons of room for Brian to go by. Maybe Brian and him are
Sure.
talking in the chat, being like, "Hey man, it's this one time, final race, let me have it."
I'm not sure. I think Dylan might be distracted by his headlight button on his steering wheel. I mean, clearly he's having fun with the headlight button. Maybe that just distracted him.
Maybe the button's a little more excited in the race for him right this second. So, I gotta say these racing wheels on these sims are really fun. I sometimes use mine as a little bit of like a fidget device. I just constantly am like shifting up, shift down, left, right, making believe I'm Max Verstappen, but unfortunately I'm not. So, we'll move away from that one.
Daya Hedian closing the gap on this Red Bull 3 Series, and Alex Snyder about to have some heat from the McLaren.
Ooh,
And
down the
like,
inside.
watch Brian Hedian push him. Man, Hedian making strong moves onto the front stretch there, and he's got Paterno and Josh Green in his sights.
Absolutely, and it looks like Josh Green is trying to overtake Paterno. We know Paterno has got some really great defense over the course of this season, so hopefully, as long as Paterno's head stays in it, he'll definitely be able to fend off Josh for a decent bit of the race. As we pull up how much longer we have in the race, we're not even halfway. Honestly, we've had a lot of action for not being halfway. Making it clean through that uphill left-hander, which has caught a lot of drivers out by surprise today.
No doubt. No doubt. That uphill left-hander, I tell you, is lethal. And that painted curb, I tell you, in the morning when the dew is settling, that painted curve can really hurt you before 10 a.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Uh,
I have yet to drive the track, but I'll be sure to also put that in my list of notes, you know.
Put that in your track notes. Good funnel
Exactly.
cakes. Stay off the painted curb in turn five.
Well, if you hit the painted curb on turn 5 and put it in the wall, at least you're not too far from a funnel cake to make your day a
You,
little bit
you
better.
can go get a funnel cake. Exactly. You'll be having funnel cake before you know it, brother. Down into 10A, Bonzini leads Josh Green. 10A, 10B, up the hill.
Paterno, unfortunately, with a little bit of the wider line, and Josh is able to capitalize
Oh
on that.
no,
And the
Josh just gets through
phase
there.
The Phase Imperium machine going into P2 with Ponzini set on his sights once again. And look at that, Brian Heating in the background, not too far off. I think there's a possibility of a battle for third.
Yeah, I think you're right. Excellent position there for Josh Green. When he came under the bridge in turn 11, he really already had it on Paterno just because of his positioning there in turn 11. It really set him up for a great run down the hill through 12, and that pass was over before it even got started.
Absolutely.
Paterno had nothing, had no defense there whatsoever.
Let's look a little further back. It looks like we have a big, big, big battle, I think, for P8. Frank McClenaghan. Who is that? Manny Tartaglione, and there should be one
Yep.
more behind. I'm not sure who that is in the really, really colorful blue and pink car. Oh, and that's looks like someone went off on the inside there. Who is that? Ben
Yeah, a little
Albano.
smoke there.
That's Ben Albano.
Wow.
Ben Albano is
Ben
falling down this
Albano
order.
dropping right side wheels in turn 5. Not a good plan. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Not going to work out for you.
Man, and looks like Frank McClenaghan is putting in some really solid laps, catching up here to Chris Johnson, hopefully looking to make a move on that Mercedes AMG GTR. And as we said before, I think the BMW may make light work of the Mercedes.
Yeah, we'll see. I tell you, the Mercedes has fantastic power.
Hmm.
So it's much like the McLaren's really, really good in a straight line. And the Bavarian machine there, really good in the corners. So we'll see if the M4, the last generation M4, has something for him here.
Ooh, looking
McClanahan,
aggressive.
really talented driver. Showing him a little nose on the inside, on the outside. Frank's out there where you don't exactly want to be. Lots of marbles out there, but he gathers it up and heads downhill into the S's.
Absolutely. And I got to say, the BMW in this game is a very aggressive car to drive. So it definitely requires a lot of attention and a lot of skill. And it requires a certain driving style. And it seems as though Frank McLennan definitely suits, this car suits his driving style because he's driving it really, really, really well right now. So hopefully, maybe on this back straight, he's able to nestle into the toe, get a good, clean turn 6, turn 7, and maybe just nestle up nice to make a move down to the downhill left-hander.
That would be great. Yeah, he should be able, if he gets a good position here
Oh, that's
and
good.
can get the toe, he might be ready by 10A at the other end of this straightaway.
Man, but that Mercedes is mighty quick. If we look at the distance between them, it is decreasing, but I don't know if it's by enough. I lied. I think it's definitely by enough. Looking towards the
Yeah,
inside. Oh, this is going to be aggressive.
McClanahan puts his nose in there and pushes the Merc out of the way,
Oh, but he's going
but
to miss the
can't see it.
corner.
You can't get it slowed down. The Oh my gosh. Oh, very optimistic. He throws into the 10A on hopes and dreams and runs it right through the pea gravel. He was super lucky to get out of that gravel trap at the back of 10A.
Absolutely.
That thing eats cars for a living.
And that's actually Sean McAuliffe in that 12 car. The blue and pink and lots of colors. The colorful car.
Yes.
Looks like Sean McAuliffe after that pit stop is trying to make up some places right here. Uh, Still got to figure out what happened at the beginning of this race. It was kind of thrown off a little by the pit stop.
Yeah.
And right behind, it looks like Ben Albano and Manny Tartaglione are having themselves a little bit of a scrap. Ooh, Ben Albano, I think giving him a little bit of a bump draft. Maybe a look to the inside, the outside. Ooh, real aggressive there.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely moving Manny around a little bit, but not so much as to cause an accident, which is really good. We're really not trying to wreck the members. That's not what we're going for here.
No, and it
But
looks like
Albano definitely getting a toe out of that Porsche.
I think that Ben Albano's having a good time, giving a little bit of a bump draft. I just want to just jump back up to the
I
front
think.
between Josh Green and Nick Ponzini because we've seen this battle before, and I guess we're gonna see it again.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's about 6 minutes left in this race, and I tell you, Nick Ponzini really. I mean, he's the crowd favorite, right? He's the people's champion. Everybody wants to see this Ponzini kid come off the bench and just really put up a W on the top step. And he's in this matchup with Josh Green, a guy who's really experienced, does a lot of sim work, a lot of data work, a lot of active racing. And it's really good to see somebody like Ponzini out there holding his own with the pros.
Absolutely. Ponzini's putting in some absolutely mega laps right here. Just hitting his marks, crossing his T's, dotting his I's. Really just putting in some great work. And also, Eric Paterno is not too far behind, I got to say. But let's not speak too soon. It looks like Ponzini's trying to keep the inside. We saw this happen before. Let's see what happens this time as we go into the
Got
downhill
to cover that
left-hander.
off.
They're still side
Yep.
by side. It looks like Ponzini learned his lesson last time. Able to keep on the outside, and they're going to go down side by side into the downhill.
Yeah, Green has got good position here. This pass is already done.
Ooh.
Ponzini's just going the long, long, long way. But man, look at Ponzini punch back into turn one. And up the hill, we have a Merc, a BMW, and a Porsche heading up one, two, three into turn two.
And I thought for a second there that Ponzini was going to try to make it side by side again. Also, Paterno able to really capitalize on that scrap. Look at him, 3/10 behind Ponzini. So this is a battle for first.
Yeah, this is like some kind of German touring series championship here with all these different makes out front. It's very exciting. All three kinds of cars, so much difference in their driving dynamic and performance envelopes. And here we are, though, with about 5 minutes left to go, and you can throw a blanket over them into turn seven.
Absolutely. And it's got to be really frustrating for Nick Ponzini. He's in the middle right now. He's got to focus on Paterno behind, Josh Green up front. I think he left a little too much room for Josh. I mean, obviously, after the first incident, he's got to probably think to himself, all right, I got to leave a little more room next time. But I think that was just a little too much for Josh, being a little too kind and courteous. I mean, this is an instructor. You got to drive him to the ground.
Yeah, agreed.
Personally, I'm not giving Josh any space. I'm driving him into the grass.
The story ends with Josh in the grass. That's all there is to it, right?
Oh man, Bonzini, absolutely phenomenal show by him. Just great driving, and we still have 4 minutes left in the race, and he's not that far from Josh Green. So hopefully he can make something work with the remaining time. Hopefully able to maybe learn off of some of Josh's driving style and apply that to his driving, and maybe challenge for P1.
Don't look now, but Paterno, Swift Swiss is coming back there too, man. That blue and white Porsche Finlandia car is trying to get in the mix. He's got about a lap and a half left to get something done here.
Absolutely, and as the three cars go into turn 6 and turn 7, Josh Green looks like he's eked out a good little lead, almost 7/10 in front of those two cars behind. Eric Paterno almost diving into turn 7, it
Yeah,
seems,
I
as
saw
we
that.
go onto the back straight. Eric Paterno is looking for that P2 position.
Excellent camera work as always out of our Monticello Motor Club Esports Sim camera crew. Excellent drone shots being provided by the fellas in the booth, led by Demetrio Crawford. They've really turned in a great effort here all season long, and tonight is a tour de force in racing camera angles as Ponzini comes under the bridge into turn 12. Well clear of Paterno, but not quite striking distance on Josh Green.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta say that BMW looks so good. It looks so planted, and that last lap was Ponzini's last lap. That was a very well put together lap for him. So hopefully, I don't know if he's getting a little bit of an aero wash from Josh up ahead. Really strong through the S's right this second. Turns down into the right-hander, taking the curb nicely over the left, and then hopefully keeping composed over 5. Yes, perfect. God, Ponzini, I need a little bit more, and I think he could catch back up to Josh.
Well, I'll tell you what, this racing has been fantastic. There's 2 minutes left. Josh Green looks to go two in a row at a fantastic racing venue, and Ponzini still trying to get in the fight whilst defending against Paterno coming up right behind him in the Finlandia Porsche.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta say, I think Eric Paterno wants that P2 after, the incident in race one where it almost seemed like he had the race. He was starting to drive away from the pack, and before you knew it, he was in the wall for whatever reason. It looks like as though Eric Paterno got that technical problem figured out, and he's on it. He's on it right now.
Definitely getting his money's worth tonight out of that Stuttgart Porsche Finlandia sponsored GT4 car. It looks really good out there. Looking back in the field, you got Brian Hedian running in fourth, followed by Jack Klepchik and Frank McClanahan. Johnson, Albano, Murcott, and Tartaglione round out the top 10.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Dylan Murcott so far back. I think before he was in P5, we saw the pass from Brian Hedian, so I'm not sure what happened to him. Maybe a little incident of some sort, maybe went a little too wide at some point, but interesting to see Dylan fall back so much. And also, I gotta say, the gap between Brian and Eric is starting to increase. Maybe the front tire on that the McLaren is just giving way.
Maybe. And that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. As we've noted before, those fronts on the McLaren, very skinny.
Absolutely. So
Next time you get up close to Alan Teo's car in the pit, everybody take a look at those front tires. They are not as beefy as you might think a car with that much horsepower would have.
yeah, it's fascinating, especially like because all of the other McLarens. I mean, I think they're like the entire lineup. You just see, I don't know what it is. Maybe just their front tub is just too big, but it's all of them just have tiny tires. I'm pretty sure the 620R as well is just like a 235 for being a race car. That's quite interesting. And that
Josh
is
Green takes the
it.
checker, just like that.
That is it.
Ponzini in second. Paterno can't quite get it done, brings it home in third.
Absolutely. And then Frank McClanahan, we saw him a little while back, able to make the move on Chris Johnson, it seems, and is going to take P6 in a phenomenal drive from Frank McClanahan.
Yeah, excellent livery too on that BMW, by the way. Really looking good. Frank representing the brand and the club and just really putting on a great fun show for us tonight in that M4.
And it looks like Dylan Murcott and Ben Albano will be racing to the line. There was nothing held. Oh my God, Ben Albano. That was.
Oh no, I think they both hit inside outside contact.
I mean, they passed the they passed the checkered flag. So I think that's the most important part
Wow.
for them. And wow, that
Wow.
wasn't expecting that. And it looks as though I think the rest of the field is finally crossing the line. Jason Cohen and Ron Trenka are going to help round out the last few drivers. Wow, what a livery on that Porsche.
Yeah.
That is an elaborate livery. And that is that. I just want to take a look real quick. Was Dylan ahead of Ben? All right, so Ben is ahead going into the downhill left-hander, leaves it wide open.
Yeah.
And look at that, Dylan just stopping the car in the apex. Ben going the long way around, and Dylan drove him straight off the track.
Unbelievable action there on the last lap, as you come to expect out of this Red Atlanta race.
Oh, for sure. And these instructors are putting on a show for us. And I wanted to see what had happened here, actually. Yeah. Ben Albano was just trying to pick out every trick in the book, was trying to cut the corner, and then they're having a fun time because, Checker's
Yeah,
pretty early on the front straight.
definitely. Man, that was a great race. It was as awesome as I thought it would be. That concrete wall in turn 12 is really hard, but what a great race. Josh Green, 2 for 2 at Road Atlanta, really picking up the points. Ponzini in second, Paterno in third. Leading the instructor regiment is Brian Hedian coming overall fourth ahead of Jack Klepchik in spot number 5.
Absolutely.
Guys, thanks so much. It's been a great season, Demetrio. It's been an amazing season. I think next year we're going to try to start the season earlier, right after the holidays, so we can get finished before the club opens. But from Demetrio and I here in the booth to all the racers, the members, and the instructors that are on the track, it has been a great season. We appreciate your support. Demetrio, you're awesome on the camera and the mic. Thank you for being here with us all season.
Anytime, anytime. I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity and such an amazing season. To all of the drivers, thank you so much for the amazing battles. Derek and I had a great time yelling, screaming, and really just on our toes,
Amazing.
just watching all of the actions that happened all season. So super excited to see what's in store for next season for the instructors and for the members. And yeah, if you guys liked this live stream and you loved the series, make sure to show support in the chat. Make sure to like the video. That certainly helps us and to gauge whether or not there's interest in this. So feel free, if you see that like button on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button. And also, don't forget, if you're not subscribed, I was running with the assumption that you're all subscribed to the Monticello Motor Club YouTube channel, but if you're not subscribed yet, it's time for you to subscribe.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. You should subscribe to all the great videos coming out of Monticello Motor Club, including our race videos.
Oh yeah,
Guys, we really appreciate the support. Thank you for showing up. And we'll see you next season as we close out this race season here from Flowery Branch, Georgia, beautiful Brazelton, Georgia. And that's all from Road Atlanta. Thanks, everybody.